All right, guys, welcome to another week. A couple of really important things before we jump into specifics. First, please make sure you get your remediation done this week. Like I said in the past, if you wait until after this week to do that remediation to improve your score in that first chemistry assessment on atomic structure on the periodic table, things are going to really start to pile up and it's going to get pretty stressful. So please get that done as soon as possible this week. Second, this part of our chemistry unit is extremely important because we're getting into those fine details and you're required to now know those details. So it's going to be important that if anything doesn't make sense or if you have questions on anything that you ask, okay? Ask during class, ask through Schoology messages, show up to the help session on Wednesday, come to the office hours, okay? Really, really important that you ask those questions, okay? All right, so let's take a look at what we're doing this week. I'm going to do a couple of fun different activities this week in class. Last week we talked about Lewis dot diagrams. And this week, Monday and Tuesday, whichever day I have you, we're going to do another little mini lecture in class, taking Lewis dot diagrams to the next level and showing you step by step how you can use Lewis dot diagrams to show how bonds work, both ionically and covalently. They're a little bit different and there's a lot of drawing, so make sure you're ready for that. You can also see on Monday and Tuesday, I'm going to give you a chemistry workbook. I'll talk more about that here in just a second. And then you have homework for Thursday, and that is a video on how to predict bonding types, so covalent, polar, covalent, nonpolar, and ionic. So some notes to take there, Cornell sketch notes. Again, make sure you're watching the videos, make sure you're doing the homework, make sure you're drawing, okay? So that's due Thursday. Wednesday is our normal kind of deal, okay? So again, if you need help, make sure you stop by and ask those questions, okay? Also use it to catch up if you're falling behind or work ahead, okay? Thursday and Friday, what we'll do together, again, whether I see you on Thursday or Friday, is we're going to do a little bit of practice to kind of help get you ready for that assessment coming up next week, Monday, Tuesday. And I'll give you a couple of problems. We'll do them together in class. You'll actually do them. You'll tell me what to do. All right, so get ready to talk. Get ready to work in teams. So we'll do a little bit of bonding practice. Okay. Any other time after that activity in class, whether it's Thursday or Friday, is going to be yours to work on multiple different things. You can see on Thursday, you have a video to watch about electronegativity. We touched on that just a little bit. So you'll watch that, take some Cornell sketch notes, turn that in by Friday. Okay, so you could work on that after class or activity. You can see we've got that graphic organizer. You should be able to fill out that during section. And then also, if you wanted to, you could work on the chemistry workbook, okay? So three things to turn in this week. I'll show you those here in just a second, and then you've got that chemistry workbook. And then just realize Monday and Tuesday next week is your bonding assessment. So maybe a good idea to start studying a little bit. Going back, looking through your notes, the chemistry workbook is going to be super helpful for that assessment. So let's jump into Schoology and kind of check out what we're looking at here. Okay. So the activity that we're going to do Monday and Tuesday is an in-class lecture, and that's Explain 3. So if I take a look at that, it says, listen to the mini lecture in class and collect some notes. Add them to the bottom of Explain 2, your bonding sketch notes. And then resubmit those here, okay? So really important, and I'll mention this in class, is just grab that set of Cornell sketch notes from Explain 2. We'll add on to them at the bottom, and that's what you're going to turn in on Tuesday, okay? So there's that one. The next one for Thursday is that predicting bond types. Very similar to what we've been doing, okay? So you got a couple of videos to watch. You've got the template there. Again, make sure you're doing this. Make sure you're doing it on time. Don't fall behind. Get those guiding questions over on the left-hand side. Those are going to be very helpful with studying for assessments. And draw, okay? Draw. Okay, so that's that one. And then the last one let's do this week is the Explain 5 Electronegativity. Again, same process. Watch the video, take those Cornell sketch notes. But I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about this chemistry workbook. And this is going to be one of those things that you're not going to want to skip out on. Those that do this, do it well, get all the answers right, or go back and fix things, they do well on the assessments, okay? So like I said, this is practice. For the next couple of assessments, it's practice. I'm not going to grade it. Like I said, you can do as much or as little as you'd like, but I highly recommend doing all of it. And this is something you can kind of do at your own pace. So I'm going to open this guy up just so that you can see what kind of practice we're going to be doing. So it's a PDF. Send this over to Notability because it's just tons and tons of drawing. Okay. And the first thing is drawing ionic compounds. And this is something that we're going to practice Monday and Tuesday. All right. So it walks you through all of those different steps, which are going to be critical for the assessment coming up, and just lots of different ones to practice and go through. You'll need a periodic table, so use one of the ones linked into that Explore activity to kind of help you. And that's the first one. Okay, lots of ionic compounds, gets you a little bit of review on what ions and ionic bonds are, what forms them. Okay, and then we get into covalent bonds. Okay, so kind of the same thing. It walks you through all of the different steps on how to draw these covalent molecules, and then it gets you into some practice. And some of these are kind of tough, which is good. Okay, so that's the first chunk. A little bit more practice. Okay, and then eventually it's going to transition into some counting atoms. Okay, and this is something that we're going to talk about next week. All right, so I would say for this week, if you'd want to do the first 6 pages of this as practice, and you know, if something doesn't make sense, or if you've got questions about one of these, bring it to an office hours or bring it to class, and we can talk it out. I think that's really, really important. Okay, so again, if we take a look at the schedule for the week, that's what we're up to. A couple of really fun in-class activities that are really going to give you some important knowledge and some things to do and some things to practice. And then you have 3 things to turn in and lots of things to work on. Okay, so if you're sitting at home and you're bored or you're trying to wonder, well, what can I do? You can do chemistry. Okay, there's lots and lots to do to get you ready for that assessment coming up next week. Okay, I hope you have a wonderful week here. Watch this as many times as you need to, and we'll see you this week.